Merry New Year, friends. Welcome back to Hot News. Hope you've been enjoying your life. We had to take a little day off yesterday just because I had to go pick up somebody from the airport and a whole bunch of other schedule conflicts. Anyways, we're back with Hot News today, and we're going to just jump right on into it. Why don't we hippity hop into the news? Which, first up, is that it looks like Nvidia is finally taking AMD's competition seriously by completely undercutting them and making them completely obsolete before they have even launched. This is something that we've been talking about for quite some time since EVGA unveiled at CES their RTX 2060 KO GPU, which was priced for $299 at CES, but then came out at $279 when it launched just 2 or 3 days ago. Well, now it appears that Nvidia has made a price drop official. If you want to pick up an RTX 2060 non-super from them, it is now $300 on their website. We would presume that most other AIB partners are going to fall in line to drop their prices, but then this means that they are now within $20 of the RX 5600 XT, whose competitor is the 1660 Super. So this is not a good look for AMD. It looks like Nvidia is countering their competition of their Navi 10 GPU, something that we've been waiting for, by just dropping the price. This probably also is a good indication of what we get if AMD actually brought out big Navi and Nvidia wasn't ready or didn't want to release their upcoming 7nm GPUs. They would just drop the price on their 2080 Ti's and the like because they've already made a ton of money on it. So what's losing a little bit of money there to continue to gain the market share and make sure that you're having successful sales going into the next generation of products? Dropping the price by $50 on the RTX 2060 is a 14% price cut, which means that Nvidia is just still a really good value at the $300 price point mark if you're looking to spend money on a GPU that expensive, which you're probably going to need for Cyberpunk 2077, but thankfully CD Projekt Red has delayed the game so you don't need to upgrade your GPU just yet, stating in a post they need to get the game ready, saying that they're currently at a stage where the game is complete and playable, but there's still work to be done. So they've moved from their launch date of April 16th to September 17th, a full 5-month pushback. This is obviously coming after the delays of Final Fantasy VII Remake as well as Marvel's Avengers, which is now going head to head with Cyberpunk 2077. It's going to have no chance. Anyways, it does look like CD Projekt Red is doing it for the right reasons. They have to actually polish the game, and I, like many other people on the internet, would prefer a complete game versus something that is a less finished product at release, and then we have to wait for them to patch it later on, like so many other game developers do. So CD Projekt Red doing the right thing, although I wonder, should they have really announced the release date of this? I would have just rather still not known when it was coming and it was delayed till September. Keep it a mystery. But we've got a little bit more video game news. It's actually quite a video game heavy season here at Hot News. It looks like Metro Redux is officially coming to the Nintendo Switch on February 28th, Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light included in that bundle. And then we finally also got the 5th fighter that is coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it looks like it's Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses. This bothered a lot of Smash Bros. Fans because who needs another freaking Fire Emblem character? Why? Why is this happening? It's a good character. It looks like it has tons of range, but there you go. Well, also Fire Emblem Three Houses did get DLC announced, as well as Super Smash Bros. Got announced that they're still going to be releasing a second fighter pass with 6 more fighters. So this isn't the end, and it should be released by the end of 2020. So still more to look forward to with Super Smash Bros. So the last one is not necessarily a Fire Emblem character. We can still get more. And you can get more frame rate in Fortnite. Did you know that? Did you know that in order to get 120 FPS on Fortnite, the only other platform besides PC that you can do that on is the iPad Pro. Yes, my friends, it looks like Epic Games has updated the iPad Pro version of Fortnite to support the Pro Motion display, which has 120 hertz refresh to make it so that you have 120 FPS. Obviously, this is going to affect the graphics, and graphics quality is going to go down. But in case you want high frame rate on the go Fortnite gaming, an iPad Pro is the way to go. Suck it, console gamers. You still don't get the good stuff. And neither do the people who've invested in Google Stadia, but Google's working hard, apparently, to fix that. They've stated that in 2020, they plan on releasing 120 new games. Cool. And then they also announced that they're going to support 4K gaming on the web, add further assistant functionality, support additional Android phones, and wireless gameplay on the web through the Stadia controller in Q1, which is everything that was supposed to be there at launch. Thanks, Google. Not really exactly what we're looking for, and they're planning on announcing the free games that you get with your Stadia Pro subscription before the end of the month, so in case you care about that at all, it's coming. Yay! And just a few more video game things. Horizon Zero Dawn, which was a PS4 exclusive, is coming to PC in 2020. This is following in the wake of Death Stranding, which is getting a summer 2020 release. Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding built on the same engine thanks to Guerrilla Games helping out Kojima Productions with the development of that, and a lot of people are hoping that this could pave the way for a lot more Sony exclusives to come to the PC, although I necessarily wouldn't hold your breath because Sony has made it clear that they are indeed still going the exclusive routes for a lot of their upcoming games. But in case you're wondering when the PS5 is going to come out, well, according to God of War and Twisted Metal creator David Jaffe, he is expecting, and he says this is the worst kept secret in games right now, that the PS5 will be fully unveiled in February, just like they did with the PS4. So in case that's something that you want, the current rumor is February for the PlayStation 5. You only had to hold your jimmies until then, my friends. All right, now let's switch gears into some more production news, I guess, is what's going on. TSMC, who's responsible for producing the 7nm architecture for AMD on both their CPU and GPU, as well as Apple 7nm stuff, and presumably Nvidia when they tap them for 7nm, is still having a delayed lead time of 6 months for an order. So that means any order that's submitted today can only get produced in about 6 months from now. This is one of the speculated reasons why Ryzen 3000 wasn't so much in stock when it was initially announced and was kind of almost like a half paper launch. Like, it was definitely out in the wild, but not in the quantities that everybody wanted it to be. AMD ended up blaming themselves for it by saying that they didn't expect the consumer demand, but it also seems like it was probably partially TSMC having a ton of 7nm orders, which they could not necessarily fulfill in a quick time frame. But it also looks like they're going to have a hard time fulfilling their upcoming US orders for government contracts, including Lockheed Martin's F-13 Lightning II fighter jets, which are supposed to be produced by TSMC. The US is fearing that there might be some interference from the Chinese government, with TSMC having factories in China, so they're trying to pressure TSMC into finally opening a fabrication facility in the US, because this has been a long time thing that has been going between TSMC and the US. I believe that they were supposed to open one up in Wisconsin a long time ago, and it's just been a back and forth, just kind of like Intel and Samsung, because they've been trading spots for the top semiconductor vendor in the world, and finally Intel has regained their crown, which they lost in 2019. This is due to the fact that DRAM and NAND are just not necessary, so Samsung's not producing as much, and so even though Intel's in a shortage right now, they can reclaim the top crown for being the company that produces the most in the semiconductor industry. And a lot of people are hoping that Intel might be in a lot of computers in the GPU slot coming in 2020, but it turns out that Intel is saying that they're going to unveil their graphics architecture at GDC in March. GDC is the Game Developers Conference, and they're going to introduce powerful new features and give us a whole introduction to what is actually going to be coming with the next generation of Intel graphics. So hopefully you can mark your calendars for that and be expectant for what is ultimately probably going to be a lower end to mid-tier entry from Intel, but hopefully it can shake up the market if they are indeed going to price it appropriately. Speaking of appropriate, Microsoft Edge has the edge on you installing it now, because they are officially out of preview and is now available for download. Microsoft Edge being revamped on Chromium. Yes, my friends, Chrome's going to be in Microsoft Edge, so you can no longer make Internet Explorer jokes, although Internet Explorer will find that out in a little while. That's terrible. This is a terrible joke segment. I'm sorry, everybody. In case you want to try the new Microsoft Edge, we'll leave a link in the video description for you to be able to download it. But you can't download the performance of what's supposed to be the upcoming iPhone 12's A14 5nm SoC. An analyst, whatever that means, is speculating that it could potentially put the 6-core 15-inch MacBook Pro to shame. The 6-core Intel CPU that's in the MacBook Pro will be beat by a mobile processor. Sure. Okay, some analysts said it. Let's believe it. Good job, Apple. I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of you for trying to save money, because that's what you'll do if you pick up the new price on the Oculus Go. Facebook announcing a permanent price drop on what was already seen to be on sale Oculus Go, dropping from $199 on the base model to only $149 if you want to pick it up. That's for the 32 gig variant. If you want the 64 gig variant, you can get that for $199. Facebook dropping the price not only in the US, but worldwide to the equivalent tune of $50. And let's finish off hot news with a couple of light things. One of my favorite ice cream brands, Ben & Jerry's, is announcing a new flavor, Netflix and Chilled, which is going to be peanut butter ice cream with pretzels and brownie bits. That is everything I want. Salty and sweet. Chocolate and salt is like my best combination of the things I want to eat. Chocolate covered pretzels. If you want to win me over, bring me chocolate covered pretzels, my friends. That is the best thing. But it's not the best thing when your parents find your tube of thermal paste in your room and they think you're smoking dope. You rolling a joint? You puffing the Magic Dragon? Friend? Well, apparently Cooler Master is saying that they didn't just redesign their new applicators for thermal paste because it makes it easier to apply it and more evenly apply it, but because they were tired of having to explain to parents that their kid isn't using drugs. What? Who looks at thermal paste and thinks it's drugs? I guess because it looks like a syringe? Maybe thinks that they're shooting up heroin? That's some thick heroin, my friends. I mean, sludge heroin. What drugs are your parents doing that they think that looks like a heroin needle? What's going on? This got unfamily friendly. I'm so sorry, friends. I'm going to end this episode of Hot News there. Don't do thermal paste, my friends. Don't inject it in your veins. It's bad for you. Do you hear me? Trust me. I've been there. I've walked down that dark road. It's not a place I want to go to again. But I want you to come back for UFT Tech videos. So hit that subscribe button. Ring that bell. Hit the like button so that the algorithm promotes us. And be sure to check us out on the next episode. I'm Brett. Thanks for watching. Cheers.